Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Samantha and I'm back with a brand new video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing a very highly requested review and update of my vintage Chanel medium classic flap. I've had this bag for 2 years now. If you guys are OG and you've seen the unboxing 2 years ago, bravo to you. I'm going to be going over many of your questions. So do I even wear this bag out? Do I style it? Is it easy to wear? How the hardware has worn, and just kind of my overall sentiments, my pros and cons on buying vintage or buying luxury at a cheaper price. As you guys know, Chanel prices are absolutely insane to the membrane, and so this is actually my one and only item from Chanel. I believe this is a 1994, was it 1993 bag? I can't remember, but I had purchased this online from an online consignment store that sold specifically vintage Chanel. I knew for a fact that I wanted the Chanel to be a lambskin bag, even though I knew that it is a little bit more prone to scratches and stuff, but I knew that I liked that kind of look and aesthetic. When you're spending money on a luxury bag, you want to make sure that there is longevity to it. You're able to wear it, you're able to style it over a long period of time, and it's not kind of a one and done. Beautiful. And when I had purchased this, I actually did, it came with authentication, right? But I just wanted to feel that peace of mind, and so I did 2 more separate authentications just to make sure that this was an authentic Chanel. It is with gold, beautiful gold hardware. It did come actually looking like this with a little bit of like, not too many scuffs, but there is a little bit of a bend or dent in the back of the bag, but nothing that was too crazy. Overall, in really good condition. Firstly, let's talk about wearability. Like, have I worn this bag out? Do I style it? Do I take it out into the damp Vancouver weather? The answer is yes. I was very careful with my bag because it was vintage. It's also lambskin and also a nude color. For quite some time since I've gotten this bag, at the start, I actually didn't really bring her out anywhere except during the summer. And even then, it was really like once in like every few months, maybe. And I would like to say to everybody, my style is kind of all over the map. Like, I feel like generally I'm quite feminine in my style, but I also like to experiment with street style. Sometimes I like to wear more neutrals, and then sometimes I like to wear a lot more color. And because the Chanel is a neutral colorway, it's so easy to pair and wear with any and every outfit throughout the season. And I think that makes the bag so worth it, because it's definitely not only a seasonal bag, something that I can take out and about in the summer, in the winter, in the fall, and it will still match whatever I'm wearing. One of the most important factors is that, you know, if you're going to buy vintage, which I totally support purchasing vintage luxury, especially if we're talking about Chanel, of all the crazy price increases, but also, in my humble opinion, with this one Chanel bag that I own in my collection, the quality of craftsmanship when it's a vintage Chanel versus today is like night and day. This lambskin from 19 whenever is in such good quality and wears so beautifully over the years. So that is also another plus point of vintage, is that you know exactly how the leather is going to wear because it's so old. Like, this bag is almost as old as I am. If you guys want a more in-depth review of the interior and exterior of the Chanel classic flap, do watch the video that I'll link up above here, because I do share a little bit on like how exactly it looked when I first purchased it, and then you can kind of do a compare and contrast to see how it's worn over the past 2 years. There's a part here which, like, this was the same from when I got it, and I feel like the thread is pulling a little bit now, especially since I've worn it so much. But again, it's one of those things that it's not that big of a deal and I could easily fix it. The structure of the bag itself also still looks great. How the buckles work, also great. There's a little bit of scuffing here from where the bag closes because of this thing. But again, for the most part, everything looks really, really great and almost exactly like how it did when I first purchased it. Question that you guys do ask quite often is that how is the maintenance of a vintage Chanel? And a lot of the questions kind of surround the idea of like, how do you keep it clean? What do you use to clean your bag? So I actually have a separate video where I do a deep clean of the Chanel Classic Flap, and this is actually when I first got the bag from the reseller, and so I'll add it up above so you can have a watch there as well. But in a nutshell, I have some products that I purchased from the handbag spa years ago, and I still use them not just for this bag in particular, but also a lot of the other leather and non-leather bags in my collection. A really good example is the Longchamp Le Pliage that I have, and I have a video about me putting it into the washing machine, and a lot of you guys ask, you know, like, what soap do you use? I don't use any soap because I just use the antibacterial spray from the handbag spa on that, and then I put it into the washing machine. I put it on a gentle microfiber cloth. I spray a little bit on it, and then I do a really quick wipe over the exterior and the interior of the bag. So, pros and cons of buying vintage in my opinion, and this again specifically with the Chanel Classic Flap, but I do own a couple that are also vintage bags from luxury retailers like mine and yours in the city where I can go in and actually take a peek, or online. Pros, I would say definitely cost. I'm not too sure about the market right now for vintage Chanel bags because obviously it's grown in popularity and a lot more people are looking at luxury resellers for Chanel. But in my opinion, I think when I did purchase this, for what it's worth right now, I have made a profit. So it's nice to be able to see how the leather wears over time on its own already. Like if you buy a bag that's like 5, 10, 20 years old, then you know that if it looks so good even after that amount of time, what the maintenance will look like further down the line. You have so many gorgeous styles that don't exist anymore that you can find on the luxury reseller market. Like as an example, the Chanel Diana was on my list for the longest time. I don't have the Diana, but that is such a beautiful style and design that you don't see anymore. So you can only really find it in the luxury reseller market. One big con obviously is when it comes to authenticity of the bag. It's something that you're always like, it's scary, right? Because if you're gonna spend a huge amount of money, you wanna make sure that you're buying an authentic bag. But a lot of the times, like, it's really hard to know unless you feel and see the bag, and even then there's really, really good high quality replicas. So it's always so scary. It's like, you know what, just go on like places like The Real and you'll know that it's authentic, which is not true, because don't know if you guys remember that case where people were saying that certain items on The Real are actually not authentic because it's so well made, and there comes with the cards and everything. So that is probably the biggest thing, is that when you're buying vintage or from a reseller, you don't actually know for sure that it's authentic. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As per usual, you can find me all over the socials. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm here once every single week. Love you all. See you next week. Bye.